This week in Pokemon GO is going to be quite interesting because we're getting ourselves an in-game event that I'm really looking forward to, as well as a raid day which I think is going to draw a lot of attention. I'm going to be talking about all of the important details for this week in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So this week we are getting ourselves an in-game event which is going to be featuring some new regional Pokemon as well as a raid day featuring Mega Audino. This is definitely going to be an interesting week, and I do think you need to pay attention to it because there's a lot of things you will miss out on if you skip out on this week. This week is certainly going to be very interesting in terms of content, and I really do think that for what it's worth, it's going to be a pretty decent week compared to other weeks. But yeah, let's kick things off by talking about the Stunning Styles event because you will definitely want to pay attention to this one. The Stunning Styles event is going to start on April 3rd at 10 o'clock a.m. local time, and it's going to go until April 7th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. Now, the featured Pokemon for this event is going to be the various forms of Paldean Tauros. Yes, it's going to be making its debut during this event, but the way that you get each of these different forms of Paldean Tauros are going to be something that is going to rub some players the wrong way. Now, let's talk about the event bonuses which you can enjoy during this event. You're going to get 2 times the amount of experience when you catch Pokemon, and you're going to have an increased chance to encounter shiny Shellos, and that's actually pretty cool. It's going to be region locked as it usually is, but you will be able to encounter more shinies of this Pokemon. And then, this is actually pretty big, there's going to be a free special research story that's going to award you with the mythical Pokemon Marshadow. So if you did not attend Pokemon Go Fest of 2024, now is your chance to pick up this Pokemon. And if you've already completed the special research from Pokemon Go Fest, then you're not going to be able to get yourself a second Marshadow, unfortunately, but they will give you a whole bunch of Marshadow candy instead. Next up, let's talk about the rating content for this event. So, in the Western Hemisphere, you're going to get the pink Shellos, and then in the Eastern Hemisphere, you're going to see the blue Shellos. If you want shinies for both of these Pokemon, then you will need to use remote raid passes. And then spawning everywhere in 1-star raids, you're going to have both Esper and Rockruff, and then in 3-star raids, we're going to have the 3 various forms of Paldean Tauros, and they're all going to be dependent on whichever region you're raiding from. Now, in the Iberian Peninsula, which consists of Portugal and Spain, you're going to come across Paldean Tauros with the combat breed form. And this is actually going to be basically a regional for this region. So if you want this particular version of Paldean Tauros, you will need to befriend anyone from the Iberian Peninsula and hope that they give you raid invites to this one particular Pokemon. I do think this is going to be the highest priority for pretty much every single player, considering how unique this version of Paldean Tauros is going to be. Now, if you live in the Eastern Hemisphere, you're going to come across the Blaze breed version of Paldean Tauros, and then in the Western Hemisphere, you're going to come across the Aqua breed version of Paldean Tauros. And then everywhere, you're going to see Decidueye as well as Hisuian Decidueye. Next, let's talk about the wild encounters during this event. They're going to include Castform with its various forms, and the shiny versions of these Pokemon are also going to be available, along with Burmy and all of its various forms. Those are all going to be available in the wild during this event. Next up, let's talk about a timed research which is going to be available to everyone. You're going to get 10 Kubfu candy during this research, as well as encounters with event-themed Pokemon. And then after you complete this timed research, you're going to unlock 2 bonuses which are going to last for the remainder of the event. They include getting 1 additional candy when you catch Pokemon, as well as having an increased chance at getting Candy XL when you successfully catch Pokemon if you are a trainer level 31 and up. There's also, of course, going to be Pokestop showcases as well as field research task rewards that are going to be themed around this event. You do not want to ignore them because they're going to be a great way for you to pick up some really good items. And then finally, there's going to be a paid time to research during this event. It's going to give you 4 premium raid passes, 1 lucky egg, 1 star piece, as well as encounters with both West Sea Shellos as well as East Sea Shellos. Yeah, if you want to get yourself either of these Shallows Pokemon, then maybe you could purchase this paid timed research, but based on the price that I've seen, it may not necessarily be worth it, so do keep that in mind. Alright, now aside from the Stunning Styles event, which is going to be featuring some new regional Pokemon, we are getting a raid day this week featuring a brand new Mega Evolution. And even though this Mega Evolution may not necessarily be relevant in terms of gameplay, it is still one you will want to pay attention to, specifically for one reason: Stardust. So yeah, let's go over the details for Mega Audino Raid Day, and then afterwards I'll talk about some other things you will want to pay attention to. Mega Audino Raid Day is going to be happening on April 5th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon is of course going to be Mega Audino, which is going to be making its debut in the game through this event. And then during this event, we're going to have the following event bonuses, and they're pretty typical for raid days. You're going to get 5 additional raid passes when you spin gym photo discs for 6 free raid passes in total, and then you're going to have an increased chance at getting shiny Audino from raids, and then the remote raid pass limit is going to be increased to 20. There's also going to be a timed research which is going to award you with 10,000 Stardust, as well as 1,000 additional Stardust when you complete raid battles. With this timed research and the 5 free bonus raids, you're essentially going to get yourself a lot of Stardust out of this event. And the reason why I say that is because Audino does give you a lot of bonus Stardust when you catch it. Now, considering that this is a raid day, they're also going to be including a paid ticket, and when you purchase it, you're going to get 8 additional raid passes from spinning gym photo discs, which will lead to a total of 14 for that day, and then you're going to have an increased chance to get Rare Candy XL from raid battles. And then you're also going to get 50 times more experience from completing raid battles, and also double the amount of Stardust rewards from completing raid battles. Do keep in mind that this 2x Stardust reward is not going to be applied to the catch Stardust from getting Audinos from these raids. Now, following Mega Audino Raid Day, we're also going to be getting a Hatch Day featuring the Pokemon Tyrogue. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings regarding this particular Hatch Day, but it overall seems like there's some positive sentiments. If you have a whole bunch of egg incubators on hand, then it might be worth going after a couple of these hatches, because shiny Tyrogue is definitely one that is considered rare. Tyrogue Hatch Day is going to be happening on April 6th from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time, and the featured Pokemon is of course going to be Tyrogue. Now during this event, there's going to be a paid timed research which is going to allow you to get double the amount of Stardust when you hatch Pokemon. You're also going to get 1 star piece as well as 1 super incubator as well as 2,500 experience. I do not know what this paid time research is going to cost, but if it's anything more than $1, then this is actually not worth it at all, because these items are really not that much. But during this event, you're also going to have the following event bonuses: double the amount of candy when you hatch Pokemon, an increased chance of hatching shiny Tyrogue, and an increased chance of receiving 2-kilometer eggs from spinning Pokestops. And then during this event, there's going to be an extended bonus, which is going to go from April 4th at 10 o'clock a.m. until April 6th at 5 o'clock p.m., which is going to give you a half egg hatch distance bonus, as well as field research tasks that's going to award you with Stardust and experience. Next up, let's switch gears and talk about this week's various activities. First and foremost, Spotlight Hour this week is going to be happening on April 1st, and they did not announce what the Pokemon will be. I'm assuming it's going to be something related to April Fool's Day, considering that this Tuesday is April 1st, so definitely be on the lookout for that. There could be a very special Spotlight Hour this Tuesday, specifically because it lands on April Fool's Day, and Niantic has always had a history of doing something very funny and special on this particular day. Next up, let's talk about the raiding content. So, the 5-star raid boss during this week is going to be none other than Tapu Lele. This is a legendary Pokemon which I consider to be kind of underrated. If you're a newer player, it's a pretty decent Pokemon to have in terms of Psychic type or Fairy type raid damage, and then on top of that, it is a great way for you to farm up rare candies and Rare Candy XL, considering how easy it is to take down. So if you're a newer player, then going after Tapu Lele may not necessarily be a bad idea. So definitely spend a couple of your raid passes this week picking up a couple of Tapu Leles. And then in terms of Mega Evolution raids, we're going to have Mega Blaziken this week. It is one that a lot of players often consider as one of the best Mega Evolutions in the game, specifically because it is a glass cannon and it also has the duo of fighting and fire, both of which definitely require a Mega Evolution to deal the most damage. damage. So if you do not have yourself a lot of Mega Energy for Mega Blaziken, it might be worth doing a couple of them during this week so that you have enough energy stocked up for when you will eventually need this Mega Evolution. And then on the weekend, we're going to have Shadow Registeel in 5-star Shadow Legendary raids. This is one of those Shadow Legendaries that is actually pretty decent, and its shiny form is also highly sought after. So if you want to get yourself a pretty good Shadow Legendary, then make sure you save a raid pass or two and then go and raid for Shadow Registeel on the weekend. It's definitely a really good one that you will not want to miss out on. And then finally, let's close this off by talking about the Dynamax content. Tonight, for Max Monday, we're going to have one featuring Scorbunny, and it's a pretty decent one, I will say, but there's also going to be better Max Mondays later on down the road. So if you want to save your particles for a better Max Monday, then you're always welcome to do so. Finally, let's close things off by talking about what's going to be active in the Go Battle League. Up until this Tuesday, April 1st, we're going to have the Great League, Ultra League, and Master League be active, and then afterwards, for the rest of the week, we're going to have the Open Great League along with the Master Premier Cup. These are two very popular leagues when it comes to the Go Battle League, especially the Master Premier League. So if you want to get yourself some really good points and get higher ranks, this is definitely going to be a pretty good week for PvP. So yeah, what can I say? This is definitely going to be an interesting week of content. I'm really looking forward to the Stunning Styles event. I think it's very interesting that they're going to be including different forms of Paldea and Tauros in various regions around the world. It's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and I think I'm going to use a couple of remote raid passes in order to get the various forms, specifically the one that's going to be exclusive to Spain and Portugal. I'm definitely looking forward to getting that one. And then of course, Mega Audino Raid Day is secretly a really good Stardust farming day, and I do plan to participate just because it is a new Mega Evolution, so I want to get the Mega Energy for that, but I do think it's going to be a great way for you to farm up a ton of free Stardust. So yeah, do not ignore it. I think it's definitely going to be a good time. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Is there anything in particular this week that you are looking forward to? Or do you plan to skip out on this week for various reasons? Definitely share what those reasons are in the comments down below, and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, if you want to support everything that I do, then definitely go and check out my Patreon. If you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, opening and sending gifts, different things like that. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you are always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and love yourself today, and I'll catch you in the next one.